such an asshole.
Hello, children. All right. Got some videos I gotta do before I travel off for Athens graduation. Hello, Aaron. In regard to the concept of women hitting the wall, is the wall real or is it just a cope? Do related things like being a single mom really even matter? Well, yeah, they do. And we'll kind of get to why. What are your thoughts on this? Would you prefer to remain anonymous and a video response? Thanks. And so I have an article here. Let me just read it because I think it'll explain. A lot of us like to think in very, very clear black and white terms, but the problem is when we're talking about intersectional dynamics, we're not only talking about two different genders, we're talking about 150 million people each in this country alone. And you can't, what applies to one person isn't going to apply to the other. And so there are distinctly different subcategories of men and women within the categories of men and women, and thus the rule of the wall that we have conceptually, conventionally, applies actually only to one set of girls and one set of guys. But if you get outside of that, those particular one subsets of each of the sexes, it doesn't apply, and a whole different concept of wall then apply. So this is from Statistics Netherlands, which I'm going to assume is on par with Western nations, Western civilization in general. This was from February 13th, 2015. So this is 8 years old. Over half of women over 50 no longer want a relationship. I'm glad I found these statistics. I remember these statistics and I found them here. According to survey results released by Statistics Netherlands this week, the older single people are, the more likely they are to want to live alone. This is especially the case for women. They no longer want the ups and downs of a steady relationships. Subtitle, Young and Old Women in Particular, Not a Relationship. Results from Statistics Netherlands Family and Fertility Survey show that nearly 1/4 of 18 to 79-year-olds are not in steady relationships. Many young people in particular are single. Nearly half of the 18 to 29-year-old men do not have a steady partner. That's corroborated with 2/3 of men more modernly in the United States with the data that came out last year, I believe, compared with just over 1/3 of women. Again, women are dating older or maybe even dating outside, or they're dating all the same guys, which would explain that difference. The difference is caused by the fact that women start relationships at a younger age and often have an older partner, on average 3 years older. More women in their 20s, therefore, have relationships with men in their 30s than men in their 20s have relationships with older women. Here we go. Over the age of 50, which is definitely post-wall by every person's standards, and especially over the age of 65, more women than men are single. One of the reasons for this is that women live longer than their male partners. Okay, men are dying. Yay for us. And are therefore more likely to be widowed. Between the ages of 30 and 49, shares of singles is around 20%, slightly more men are single. Here we go. Women over 50, not very positive about relationships. The older single people are, the more likely they are to not want a steady relationship. Women in particular are reluctant to have a steady partner at older ages. Nearly 40% of single women age 50 to 64 years say they definitely do not want a relationship anymore. That's 40%. Compared to 1/4 of single men in this age group. So almost double. All right. So men, how would we put that mathematically correct? Women are almost twice as not interested in having a relationship as men, or men are almost twice as interested in having a relationship with women than women are with men over the age of 50. Like, say, that doesn't abide, but the dude does not abide. The wall does not abide by that, or the theory of the wall does not abide by that. For ages 65 to 79, this is even the case for nearly 70% of women. Like, when those eggs are there, no, 70% of women, older women, don't want to have a relationship. Various reasons. More women say they have been unlucky in relationships with too many problems, did not have high expectations in this respect. So we have it there. So the reason I want to bring up this statistic is because a lot of people will say, "Oh, the wall, it claims all," and then someone immediately say, "Yeah, but there's still a bunch of these simps out there that'll pine for them." They're still getting all these guys. They're gals 45 with 3 kids. There's a 60-year-old that's going to want her. And so, does the wall ever truly exist? And here's where we have to break it down between the type of women we're talking about and the type of men we're talking about. When it comes to the wall, all women do hit the wall. I mean, biologically, they hit the wall. You hit menopause. You're no longer fertile, physically attractive, beautiful, no matter what your women's magazine says. So that's just biology. But there is a point where a woman is no longer attractive as she was at once in her peak. And an increasing percentage of men find her less and less attractive. Right? So that comes for all of us. But that wall also exists. However, what type of men are we talking about when it comes to their attraction to that particular woman? And here's where the bifurcation comes. Women don't care about the average guy. They don't. How many women do you know? They're 43, 44. I can't find a man. Well, I got this 60-year-old, rather well-to-do man, and he'd be more than happy to. Oh, but he's 60, grody. All right, here's a 48-year-old man. He's a little overweight, but he's got stable finances. Oh, but he's overweight. Right? So this ends up resulting in the wall having 2 functions at the same time, 2 existences at the same time, depending on the type of guy you are. If you are a highly sought after guy, if you're the guy that these girls want, oh yes, the wall in the metaphorical philosophical sense is very real. It's women, they simply do not want, they don't. Numbers, data prove it. I'm not being pessimistic. I'm not being woe is me, just proves it. Women are not interested in the average man. Women don't even know the average guy exists. And if you look at what the number one cause, I would argue, for women, say 35 and older, that is the source of their ire and misery, like the number one problem, they can't find a guy. Not that guy, not that guy, not that guy, not that. They can't find the guy, the above average guy. And the above average guy, after once she hits the metaphorical wall, the philosophical wall, yeah, you're right. The only guys they care about no longer are interested in them. And so therefore the wall is very real, the metaphorical wall for women, because that's the only guys they're interested in. If they can't have that, why? And bore out by women in their 50s, they're like, why? They could find a guy, but they don't want that guy. And they'd rather be alone. I keep telling you boys this. I keep telling you, women are just not as interested in men as men are interested in women. And then where you say here, let me go back to your, is the wall real? Yes, very real. Or is it just a cope? It's not or, it's an and it is just a cope for a lot of the guys who are average. Now, this doesn't mean it's a negative cope. Cope usually means like, haha, your dream didn't come true. But it is kind of a cope for the rest of the average guys out there, the bottom 85%, the bottom 90%. I don't know if it's cope or a vengeance, or just the cope is too strong or pejorative of a word, but let's just use it for now. Yeah, it's a cope. It's a cope for the rest of the guys. So you're either one of these, it may even be a cope for these like top tier guys who were sought after, who are like, no, I've been married. Thank you very much. Like, no, you're post wall. So I guess in that way, it's a cope or a poetic justice. I guess that'd be a better way to put it. A poetic justice, cope poetic justice. For even for men who are high value men, but for your average guy, okay, yeah, it's a cope, a poetic justice cope, a little consolation prize. But it's not an or, it's both. Simply because women are only the most attractive men are, those are the only ones that exist in their world. And if they can't get that guy, as evidenced by the polling data, they don't want no guy. And you could be, we all know those guys, like, he's the grandpa guy, upper 50s. Maybe he's got a little extra weight on him. He's jolly, he's happy, almost like a Santa Claus, and he's got his financial act together. And I know this one guy. I almost eerily describes this person I know. He is well off financially, hardworking man, And he ain't no Hugh Jackman, but he's in shape for his age, and yeah, he could stand to lose a little bit of weight. And I've heard his dating stories. I'm like, oh, geez, man. Oh, you could say, hey, some gal who's like 52, kids are out of the house. Like, "Hey, would you like to meet this guy?" Oh, no, I don't want that guy. It's like, well, look, you ain't getting George Clooney, all right? It just is. You're not going to get that 55-year-old. You're not going to get him. I think Hugh Jackman is even in his 50s now. You're not getting these silver foxes. So I was like, well, if I can't have Hugh Jackman, then I don't want anyone. And it bore out. It bore out. And so the wall is both. It is both a cope for average men, or maybe more optimistically or euphemistically described as poetic justice. And it is a reality for all women, because the men they're interested in will not generally date a post-wall gal, because those guys can date younger or have multiple gals. And then, do related things like being a single mom really even matter? Well, again, it depends. A high value guy, and here we get into the finer actions within the, you're a 36-year-old hottie, single mom, 28-year-old young drunk dude at the bar. He's horny. Yeah, I'll bang you, but he's not going to marry you or commit to you. And all the complaints and all that, you see these crazy gals crying, literally crying on TikTok. It's like, well, because that guy was going to bang you but not commit to you. And these gals even didn't necessarily pass the wall. A lot of them single moms, and I don't know why. I'm thinking, is it really that bad? Is it really? Yeah, for you to get commitment. Now they'll get attention. Now here we even got another bifurcated market. High value man, yes, of course they'll have sex with an attractive woman, single mom or not. They're not going to commit to a single mom. Like, no, no. I got a 25-year-old, a 27-year-old, a 28-year-old, and a 21-year-old. None of them got kids. And here you got kids. And you got a great body, but no, you got kids. And that just adds confusion beyond just having the wall. And a lot of times, if you look at it, I think even in the polling data, the one reason or the main reason women weren't interested in having relationships anymore is because the relationships didn't work out well. I'm like, gee, I wonder if you were punching above your weight. Not confusing sex with commitment. Which I would almost argue the wall cometh for all, but and the wall is, it hurts. Women, I'm saying. But I gotta imagine that confusion in that Twilight era where guys will have sex with them but not commit. Because whatever, they have kids, they have horrific debt, they have mental problems they're unaware of, or they behave in an unacceptable manner, but they're unaware of it because no one ever told them no. What a million traits and variables where a high value guy would say, no, we're not doing that. Like her car is just cluttered with crap. Whatever. Right. Yeah, they'll hit it, but they ain't committing to it. Oh, the confusion. All men are pigs. I hate men. Meanwhile, there's all the copers like watching the wall. Nom, nom, nom. And you guys are right. There will always be a guy to. You're right. You're right. But you will not really want that guy. You won't. I know a rich multimillionaire. I won't say what he does, but legit old school. I think he's in his 70s. Hey, do you want to die in opulence and wealth? Like hang out with this guy and just be nice? Oh no, not him. No. I need someone better though. He's too blue collars. Like that's how he made his money, sweetheart. That's how he made his money. So there you go. All right, let's go to the super chats. If we got them here, we got one. Holy cow! Sligois the sauce for 50 very generous dollars. Thank you very much. The saying is, men love women for their youth and beauty, not women who look good for their age and beauty. A man can love. Look, a guy can bang a girl for youth and beauty. You have to have a personality. You cannot fall in love with a girl who's just like cookie cutter. I'm a Democrat and I recycle and I'm for the environment and I majored in the liberal arts. It's like you are as common as blades of grass. You can't fall in love with that. It's not even youth. I wish it was simple as youth and beauty. Then girls could actually make some progress in this area. But the girls also need some element of charm and kindness and dare I say a little bit of wit and humor. No, it's an uphill battle for it. It's not going to happen. You're not going to see it happen. Not in any significant numbers or percentages. You're just going to see all of them go right off the cliff and more screaming and frustration. It'll be glorious. It'll be beautiful to behold. I'm going to get the biggest bowl of popcorn you ever saw. All right, that's it. So, link below is a link to the book of Numbers, analyzing the ROI on the pursuit of women. Ladies, I recommend you buy that, read it, and be like, oh, is that what I got to do? Yes, that's what you got to do. Links to courses, links to books, links to my Subscribe Star thing where you get access to the Road Trip podcast if you join the membership for $2 a month. And then, what the hell else was there? Oh, the Amazon affiliate link. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.